The Rothschilds, a banking dynasty that ruled Europe for centuries and shaped the course of world events. Who were they? How did they rise to such power and wealth? And what secrets did they hide behind their closed doors? Alright, let's get started. Although the family can be traced all the way back to the 1500s with the OG, Isaac Elkanah Rothschild, the story of the Rothschilds as an international banking empire began in Frankfurt, Germany in the 18th century. On a small street known as Judengasse, or Jew Alley for the English speakers out there, lived a young man by the name of Mayer Amschel Rothschild, who had a real passion for numbers and business. Working as a dealer in luxury goods and foreign exchange, Mayer caught the attention of Prince William of Hesse-Kassel, one of the richest rulers in Europe. Eventually, Mayer became that dude's personal banker and advisor and naturally earned his trust and respect. However, young Mayer had bigger ambitions than just serving those in power. He wanted to develop some power of his own and create a family empire that would span across the globe for the remainder of time. Was this just a healthy ambition, a god complex? It didn't matter. Mayer was focused and ready to put in work. Not one for the MGTOW or incel lifestyle, he married a lady named Gutel Schnapper. With a name like that, she had to be hot, right? No, not even close, but her money was sexy. She came from a prominent Jewish family, in fact, and they ended up having 10 children, 5 sons and 5 daughters. Being the hustler that he was, it was only right that Mayer trained his sons Amschel Mayer, Salomon Mayer, Nathan Mayer, Karl Mayer, and Jacob Mayer in the art of banking and finance, and sent them to establish branches in the major financial centers of Europe: London, Paris, Vienna, Naples, and Frankfurt. Before anyone knew it, his boys had formed a network of communication and cooperation unmatched by any other banking house. With the help of relatives, Rothschild secured an apprenticeship under Jacob Wolf Oppenheimer at the banking firm of Simon Wolf Oppenheimer in Hanover in 1757. The grandson of Samuel Oppenheimer taught Rothschild useful knowledge in foreign trade and currency exchange before he returned to his brother's business in Frankfurt in 1763. It was at that point that he learned a very important lesson. Money is king. In fact, he's often been quoted saying, "Give me control of a nation's money supply, and I care not who makes its laws." He became a rare coins dealer and won the support of Crown Prince Wilhelm of Hesse, gaining the title of court factor, aka glorified accountant for royalty. In 1769, Rothschild's coin business grew, and so did the family's clout. It then expanded through the provision of banking services to Crown Prince Wilhelm, Landgrave of Hesse-Kassel in 1785. The French Revolution and Napoleonic Wars caused business to boom rapidly between 1792 and 1815. Mayer and his eldest son Amschel supervised the growing business from Frankfurt. Nathan set up shop in London in 1804, Jacob settled in Paris in 1811, and Salomon and Karl opened offices in Vienna and Naples, respectively, in the 1820s. During the Napoleonic Wars from 1803 to 1815, the Rothschilds helped finance the wars against Napoleon by letting the British government borrow money along with their allies. They also supplied gold coins to Wellington's army in Spain and Portugal. They also used their network of couriers and agents to get early information about the outcome of battles, such as Waterloo. We'll get to that one more later. Shout out to Nathan. During the Greek War of Independence from about 1821 to 1832, the Rothschild ballers supported the Greek rebels who fought against the Ottoman Empire by arranging loans and donations from various European powers. They also helped negotiate the Treaty of Constantinople, which recognized Greece as an independent state. Now that's how you leverage your power. Giga Chad vibes. Next, you have the Crimean War from about 1853 to 1856. In this situation, they financed both sides of the war between Russia and an alliance of Britain, France, Turkey, and Sardinia. They lent money to both the Russian and the Ottoman governments, as well as to private contractors and suppliers. I mean, in a situation like that, how could you lose? Being the lovely, benevolent force that they were, it was only fitting that once they had made their profits, the money men helped to arrange the Treaty of Paris. This ended the war and ultimately reduced Russia's influence in the Black Sea region. The American Civil War from 1861 to 1865 was short-lived, but that didn't stop the Rothschilds from having interests in both the north and the south of the United States, financing some of the cotton trade between the Confederate States and Europe, as well as some of the arms shipments to both sides. By financing the cotton trade, one can assume that by proxy, they were funding slavery as well. But maybe that's a story for another time. The Russo-Japanese War, that only lasted 1 year, starting in 1904, was financed by the finance juggernaut on both sides of the war between Russia and Japan. They lent money to both governments, as well as to private companies and banks. They also helped arrange the Treaty of Portsmouth, which ended the war and recognized Japan's dominance in Korea and Manchuria. From these examples, we can see a pattern, one that served as a major key to success in the warmonger department that helped allow them to become the financial powerhouse that they are today. As mentioned previously, we will now delve a little deeper into the Waterloo situation and Nathan Rothschild's role in it. One of the most famous stories about Nathaniel is his alleged manipulation of the stock market after the Battle of Waterloo in 1815. According to this legend, he was the first person in London to know of Wellington's victory, thanks to his messenger John Roworth, who arrived from Belgium before the official news. He then sold large amounts of British government bonds, creating a panic among other investors who thought that Napoleon had won. When the prices fell, he bought back the bonds at a low price and made a huge profit. Cold-blooded? Maybe. Cunning? Absolutely. As crazy a story that it is, though, it really isn't supported by historical evidence and has been debunked by several scholars. Officially, the story seems to have originated from an anti-Semitic pamphlet published in 1846 by a French writer who called himself Satan. The pamphlet was part of a campaign to discredit James de Rothschild, Nathaniel's brother and head of the Paris branch of the bank, who had lent money to the French government. The pamphlet sold in the tens of thousands and accused the Rothschilds of being evil geniuses who profited from the deaths of Frenchmen at Waterloo. Crazy as it may sound, this may have been one of the first times in history that a lot of people agree with Satan, as the family's rep was very much the same as it is today. In the early 20th century, the Rothschilds continued to expand their business interests and philanthropic activities. They supported various causes such as education, health, arts, science, and Jewish welfare. They also invested in major infrastructure projects such as the Suez Canal, railways, and mining. During World War I, the Rothschilds supported their respective countries of residence: Britain, France, Austria, and Germany. They helped finance the war efforts, providing loans and credits as they are known to do. In some instances, they took L's during this time period, as some of their family members served in combat roles before meeting a bloody demise. After World War I, the Rothschilds faced more challenges during the collapse of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and the rise of Nazism in Germany threatened their assets and safety. They had to restructure their business and relocate some of their branches. Fast forward to World War II, the Rothschilds were actively involved in the resistance against Nazi Germany and its allies, using their resources to help refugees, distribute info, and fund certain operations. After World War II, the Rothschilds resumed their banking and financial services, as well as their philanthropic endeavors. They diversified their investments and adapted to the changing economic economic and political landscape. In the late 20th century, the Rothschilds faced new challenges and opportunities, having to compete with other banks and financial institutions, deal with regulatory issues and scandals, and cope with family disputes and succession problems. All very relatable problems to the average history gang viewer, right? Another element to the success of this infamous family is its strategic relationship building with other families. The Rothschilds have worked with other wealthy families in various fields and regions, such as banking, finance, industry, trade, philanthropy, and politics. Among the families they've worked with are the Baring British banking family, the Metternich family, the Sassoon family, the Morgan family, and especially the Rockefellers. Building business connections with other families has proven to be an incredible recipe for success, one that pays off to this very day. Ah yes, the Rothschilds, one of history's most controversial dynasties. They backed various monarchies and governments during the Industrial Age, earning them titles and privileges. They also dominated the world of business and finance, investing in various sectors and regions. They also supported many causes and institutions such as art, science, education, and the nation of Israel. But they also faced challenges and criticisms such as wars, revolutions, scandals, and conspiracy theories. The Rothschilds are a truly fascinating and controversial family that have shaped the world we live in today for better or worse.